Hello, friends. Happy Monday, and welcome to the Monday Morning Pep Talk. I'm Matthew Grande, one of the co-founders of Careerage, and this week we're going to continue talking about creatively connecting with inspiring people. Last week we talked about getting people's attention, and this week we'll talk about figuring out what to say. To start this journey, I'd like for you to contemplate two questions. If an inspiring person you would love to meet is standing in front of you, what would you love to say to them? And the hint here is use your heart and not your head. And also, what might you love to learn from that inspiring person? Multiple times a week, I talk to people that are either A, afraid to reach out to people that they would really love to talk to, and or ask me a question like, what would I even say to this person? And I love this vulnerability because the fact of the matter is, most of us are afraid and most of us don't know what to say. And I think the reason that is normally is because we think there is a right thing to say. We think we have to be a certain way to get someone's attention. And this is usually where we get stuck. Here are a few things that I have found are essential to letting go of kind of being right when reaching out to someone and increasing your probability of reaching out and actually getting a response. The first is connect on vision and values. Focus on what excites you and inspires you about them. This is typically like their vision for their organization or the world and their values or kind of how they live their lives. And chances are those things that inspire you in them are things that are important to you and your future as well. If you connect with people on a shared vision and shared values, it's much easier to find ways to connect and collaborate. If you struggle to connect on these two things, anything else will be even more difficult to kind of accomplish or make connection with them on. Number two, be vulnerable. If you're vulnerable, there's a good chance they're going to be vulnerable too. And chances are they started in a similar place to where you are and will relate to whatever your current struggle or opportunity is that you're facing. And if the person views your vulnerability as a weakness, then they're telling you a lot about their values, and there's a good chance they're not aligned to yours anyway. Next, be authentic. If you present yourself in a way that is inauthentic, you will most likely be viewed or treated in a way that is not actually accepting of your true self. Whereas if you show up authentically and they judge you or shun you for that, then that's a pretty good indicator that maybe they're not a great partner for you. And finally, and you've heard me say this before, be unattached to the outcome. Find a way to love the process of connecting with people, because if you find that love of the process, you can let go of the outcome of it. Some people will not respond to you, and that will be okay. It will make your connections with those that do respond that much more meaningful. So how do we put these principles into practice this week? First, you should start from a place of having a list of inspiring folks you would love to connect to from last week. And if you don't, start there. Start by creating that list. Now, ask yourself about each person on that list, what moves and inspires you about them and their work? Remember, vision and values are usually a pretty good place to start. Now ask yourself, what would I love to learn from them? What are a few key things that would be so incredible for me to get their perspective on? Now, vulnerably and from your heart, write out what you would love to say to them if they were standing in front of you. Ask yourself, what information do I feel moved to share about myself to connect to what inspires me in them? This is the place where we often think about what we should say as opposed to what we want to say or feel moved to say. So ask yourself, what words would allow you to vulnerably share a part of your story and desire to connect with them? And finally, add a specific ask of them. If you want time, say, could you share 30 minutes of your time? If you want a connection, ask them, hey, would you be willing to connect me to someone? Now you're going to iterate on this a little bit, and here's how I suggest doing it. First, take what you've written and say it out loud. Check in with your body as you're saying it. Does it feel authentic? Does it feel vulnerable? Does it feel like a message you're connected to? And edit your words until you feel you would be unattached from the outcome of sending the message. You should feel so great about the message itself that you don't care if you get a response or not. You are unattached from that outcome. A good gut check for me is, would I be okay if these were the last words that this person ever received from me? And this is not in pursuit of a perfect message or perfection. This is in pursuit of saying what feels authentic to me. After saying it aloud a few times, you will most likely find the words that really move you and will most likely really move them. Now just press send. This week, I would love for you to be bold. I would love for you to be courageous. And as always, I want you to have fun. Find a person or 2 or 10 that inspires you and that you love to talk to, and send a message to those people. Some people will say no or not even respond, but give them more than one chance. I always tell people, we think the minute we email someone, they're going to respond to us. And that's always our expectation. And sometimes you have to reach out to people 2 or 3 times just to get their attention. Do it as many times as feels comfortable to you. I know people that aren't afraid to reach out to a person 10 times, whereas I usually around the 3rd or 4th time, I'll say this doesn't feel like something I want to pursue anymore, and I'll let it go for now. But those are all decisions you can make and you can connect to and kind of what feels authentic to you. And if at any point it stops feeling fun, reconnect to that thing that really energizes and motivates you. So please let us know how it goes. Never hesitate to reach out if we can help you workshop any of these exercises. Remember, we love you, we believe in you, and we're here for you. Take care of yourselves and one another, and we'll see you again next week.